guys, I'm Liz. I'm going to be talking a little bit about judgment today. So we've all heard the phrase like "don't judge me" or "not my place to judge" or "I'm not judging you" or all those other phrases, right? So when people talk about this judgment or this not judging thing, what are they talking about? So according to the dictionary definition, judgment is forming an opinion or conclusion about someone or something. So, as Christians, it's important that we know the Bible definition of things. So, what is judgment according to the Bible? So there's not only one solid definition in the Bible, but Jesus still had a lot to say about this issue. Because of human nature, God knew that we would struggle with a lot of things, judging being one of them. Because of this, He placed in His Word verses about this exact issue. So, one of these verses that I'm going to be reading is from Matthew 7 1 through 5. These verses say, "Judge not that you be not judged. For with the judgment you pronounce you will be judged, and with the measure you use it will be measured to you. Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, 'Let me take the speck out of your eye,' when there is the log in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will clearly see to take the speck out of your brother's eye." So these words were spoken in Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, which was a collection of teachings where Jesus emphasized his moral teachings. So then, after we read these verses, we come to the question: when and is it ever okay for Christians to judge? In these verses, we read that we should not judge hypocritically. It says, "Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye?" So this pretty much means that we ourselves are not perfect, and so who are we to judge another person's sin? Just because they sin differently than us doesn't mean it's any worse than our own sin, because all sin is equal in God's eyes. So then we come to the other way that the Bible tells us not to judge, and this way is with a sense of criticism. James 4:11 through 12 says, "Do not speak evil against one another, brothers. The one who speaks against a brother, or judges his brother, speaks evil against the law, and judges the law. But if you judge the law, you are not a doer of the law, but a judge. There is only one lawgiver and judge, He who is able to save and to destroy. But who are you to judge your neighbors?" In these verses, we are told that when we judge others, we are speaking out against the law instead of keeping it. This means that we are ignoring the law that says to love your neighbor as yourself. When we judge others, we ourselves are acting as the judge and saying that we know what is right and what is wrong, and we definitely do not. As stated in these verses, there's only one judge and one lawmaker. That is obviously God. Um, so, so those are just the ways that we are told that judging is unacceptable. Yet, there are still definitely some circumstances where judgment is needed. Jesus doesn't say that we can't make moral judgments like, should I go to this party? Should I hang out with this people? Should I get involved in this activity or should I not? Um, Jesus just tells us that judging hypocritically, judging critically, and judging in a non biblical way is very displeasing to Him. So then, how are we as Christians supposed to judge? Are we supposed to judge? The answer is yes. The way that we are Christians are called to judge is righteously. So, in your opinion, what do you think righteous judging looks like? So, righteous judgment means not judging just based on our opinions. It means looking at things from a biblical standpoint, which just means comparing your thoughts and views to the Bible and just seeing where they line up. It means that we must be able to remove the log out of our own eye in order to clearly see the speck in another's. This just means acknowledging that we ourselves are not perfect and that, like I read in the earlier verses, that um, there's only one lawmaker and one judge, and He is perfect, and He's the only one who is really able to determine what is right and what is wrong and to judge us for that. So this also means to judge other believers justly and in a biblical way, leaving non-believers for only Him to judge. Um, if we see other believers caught in a sin, it means confronting them in a loving and respectful way. 1 John 5:16 talks about confronting believers a little bit. It says, "If anyone sees his brother committing a sin not leading to death, he shall ask, and God will give him life. To those who commit sins that do not lead to death, there is sin that leads to death. I do not say that one should pray for that." So Then one way to determine if your judgment is righteous or not is to ask yourself these questions. So number one is it actually a sin or is it just something I don't like? So this means that if you're looking at another person doing something wrong, are you looking at it as a sin or is it just something that is bothering you? And if this really is bothering you, maybe take a look at God's word and just see what He has to say about the issue. Pray about it. Always pray about it. And is it something that goes against His commandments? Number two is, do I know this person? Do I love them or even like them? So if you don't like or even know this person, our judgments towards them tend to be a lot harsher and we tend to see them in a more negative way. That just goes for people who we don't like. So this makes our judgments not loving and definitely not righteous. So number three is, am I willing to help him or her change? Would I be willing to sit down with them and confront them in a loving way and help them work through maybe what they're dealing with? Next time you're faced with a situation and the first thing you want to do is judge or look at them differently, just ask yourself maybe why you feel this way. Is the judgment you're making hypocritical, or are you judging or looking at them with a sense of criticism? Ask yourself the previously mentioned questions and try to determine if you're making a righteous judgment. Thank you for listening.